What up, everybody?
Hey there, guys.
We made it to preseason. It's happening now. It's happening. It's happening right now as we speak. Anthony Richardson has already thrown an interception. I don't know if you saw that.
I did see that. An unfortunate interception to
It
the
was not. It
Patriots.
wasn't his fault. I don't think it was his fault.
Is
But it
that
but
the
it did happen.
signifying start to the preseason?
That's it.
Yeah.
That I think it is. And the Bengals had this botched fumble or that looked really bad. On offense, I think Burrow handed it off, and it resulted in a fumble, and the ball kicked through, and it ended up on the defensive side. It was a whole mess. So preseason is officially underway, baby. Football's back. We're in midseason form, just like that. It didn't take
Love
much.
it. Love it.
So welcome to another episode of Phase Best Fantasy. We're talking wide receivers today. We touched on our top 12 earlier in the offseason. So we are, we did this with running backs last week. We're doing it with wide receivers tonight. Revisiting our top 12, any changes that we've maybe made. That'll be something of just we'll run through it somewhat quickly. And maybe more of a focus on wide receivers 13 to 24. So we'll be truly covering our wide receiver 2 rankings tonight with any potential reworkings to the top 12. And there's certainly been some changes since we last discussed wide receivers. So I'll be curious to see how both of our rankings shake out. We'll do some news and notes first. I also teased in Discord. I'm on the clock in a best ball, and I don't know who to take. I don't know who to take. I have what's
From me?
Yeah, I thought I heard an
Oh, it was like you don't know who to take.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm waiting for an audio issue to drop, even though I think
no,
it's
you're
fixed.
good. You're good.
Okay. Yeah, I'm at the 305 right now, and I don't know who to take. So I have a poll ready to go. So I can I'll fire that off. Maybe I'll just fire that off now as we're talking news and notes.
Take it to the people.
That is exactly what I wanted to do. So I hopefully this. Oh God, it's really it's just covering us. All right. Well, y'all can see it if you want to participate. I'll just start this off. I'm at the 305 right now, and I don't know what to do. My first pick was JSN at the 105. My second pick was Amarian Hampton. He fell to 20, so I was happy to scoop him there. But now I don't know what to do. I could go Breece Hall. I could go Trey McBride. I could go Chris Olave. Unfortunately, I only had 4 total options to add. So the fourth one is simply an other. So feel free to comment. It could be, guys, other wide receivers are on the board that are available to me right now. Zay Flowers, Chris Olave, Emeka Egbuka. I think Kyron Williams is there. So there's third round options that are there. So feel free to vote while we go over the news and notes, and then we'll enter the wide receiver conversation.
Perfect.
All right, not too much, but some significant updates before we get into the wide receiver discussion. We'll start with Chuba Hubbard, Panthers running back, has been deemed week to week with a hamstring injury. This news broke today. The Panthers are optimistic that Chuba will be available week 1, but obviously this is more significant than a day-to-day. Oh, he's missing preseason or training camp practices, and we expect him back in a week or 2. This is a little bit more significant. How soon are you drafting Jonathan Brooks, and why is it in the first round?
He's definitely been one of the popular late round guys to add of the, RB2 for his own team. I don't know if it bumps him up, I guess, a little bit into the more serious category, but for me, it's probably bumping him up to where a lot of people already had him. I tend to think that unless, we're seeing the injury, so I guess unless this is happening in the season for Hubbard, I don't think it's going to be, Brooks necessarily taking over the starting role as the feature back. But Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could always be wrong about that. Like you have to remember too, like is Brooks himself not also injury prone, right?
He
Like
has been to this point. Yeah.
yeah, so there's no I think people are excited because it's them, liking him coming out of college where he was drafted with the capital and everything like that and seemingly set up to be a contributor but then hasn't been able to because of his health and they're like all right, they're trying to justify their dynasty takes on him, his rookie coming out as a rookie.
Sure.
I think that where's his ADP right now?
So I looked on. I mean, I haven't looked at Sleeper yet, but I'm looking on Underdog. Brooks is now going ahead of Chuba Hubbard by about 5 picks. Brooks has
That's
an ADP
crazy
of
to
about
me.
85. Chuba has an ADP of 89. So,
So Hubbard is 73 on Sleeper, 73.3, and Brooks is 92.8.
okay. So Underdog has
Running
Underdog
back
feels
28 versus
slightly more
32.
current just because of the
Yeah,
reaction. Sleeper may be a little slow to catch up.
for sure. I I mean he's going in the same realm as Blake Corum now. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, Monungai is a little bit ahead of him. Dobbins is a little bit ahead of him. Like I like Dobbins a lot. I'm taking him over those guys. I think I've kind of mentioned that. I would say if we look at kind of that cutoff, right, where we've been kind of saying like right there, running back 26 is where it starts to get a little bit like murky after like Tootin, Price, Swift, Montgomery, Henderson, all those guys, like whoever you have at the RB26, that next is where the ambiguous backfield sort of begin. And Hubbard certainly falls in that as well with these other guys. I'm probably looking at it as a like I'm just looking at who's going. Like the guys I'd still rather take over Brooks, Jalen Warren. I'd still take Hubbard over him. Ramondre, did you see that catch he made in the end zone the other
No.
day?
Was
It was
it
one of
not,
those Trevion Henderson truthers look away. Like
it was nice.
it was real nice. I was like, oh no.
Uh-oh.
Um,
Okay.
I'd probably see Ramondre's tough because I don't know if the upside's really there. I mean, that's the thing, right? When you're drafting the guys at this point, so if you're talking his ADPs in the 90s, if it goes up a little higher into like the 80s, you're looking at seventh, eighth round player. Like you're looking for a guy that has upside there, and he certainly does. Like if Hubbard does get hurt or if he takes the starting job, like yeah.
Sure.
So I think it's just confirmation bias, reminding everyone like, hey, this is on the table. They're saying they think he'll be ready for week 1. I think we just monitor it, and if it is week to week, it's going to be hard to really get much of an update, until we get much closer into the draft. So we will have to make a call. But I think just seeing like the progression, like if he's still seems like he's a while out, then yeah, maybe Brooks is the guy that you'd rather have, if he's going to be getting starting snaps to begin the season.
Sure.
But like looking at it right now, I'd still rather Monungai, Corum. I'd still rather have, like those guys that are definite twos.
Would you rather have
team.
Rachaad White? That was asked in the chat. Brooks or Rachaad White?
I think I'd take Brooks.
Take
but
Brooks.
I'm not a Rachaad White guy.
Okay.
But I've always thought he was like they're going to be splitting the backfield regardless, and I don't think Daniels is going to be feeding a pass catcher as much as everyone wants him to.
Like Bryce Young might be more likely to do that.
Yeah.
Check down.
Well, I just meant like we talked about Rachaad White's values in the passing game. I just don't think he's going to bring over what Baker was giving him. Because I don't think Daniels is going to give him that same chance.
Fair. Okay. Yeah, I guess I would still rather have Brooks just because Brooks has the upside to become the RB1 and Rachaad White won't be outside, like definitively won't be outside of an injury to Bill.
Yeah, there's no chance Rachaad White is a top 20 running back to me unless Bill gets hurt. There is a scenario Brooks is.
There's a world Brooks is.
Yeah.
Okay. Something to monitor for sure. No drastic changes yet until we get closer to the season, but let's keep an eye on Chuba. Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua is potentially facing a potential. I already said potential.
Potentially facing a potentially
suspension. Potentially. Just some off the field stuff. We won't delve into it. You can search for it yourself if you aren't already aware. But I don't think it's more than a game that he would be facing if it were in fact to go down. But obviously we don't know yet what that looks like and whether he's going to be facing any discipline at all. So just something to keep an eye on if you have a top 4 selection in your draft and you're staring at Puka. Just obviously, let's take this one day at a time. Hopefully you're not drafting too early. I know there's the random league that does, but this is something to keep an eye on. If you do have your sight set on Puka, knowing you have a top 4 or 5 pick, just know he might not be out there week 1. We don't know definitively yet, but it's out there. It's out there as a potential scenario.
Yeah. Doesn't affect how I rate him right now.
No, if it's a 1-game suspension, I'm still taking him, 4th behind the top 2 running backs and Jamar Chase. If it's a 4-game suspension, then he will become a late first-round pick, but I would probably still try to roll those dice and just try to hope to navigate those first 4 weeks without him and just tread water until he comes back, but still willing to take him pretty high.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would take him out. I don't think I would move him out of the second round. Or move him down to the second round, even in a 4. It would require like a 6-game suspension, and I just don't know how likely that is.
1-game suspension, if it's confirmed, doesn't change his ranking for me.
Nope, doesn't move the needle.
If you're talking like 3 or 4, I'd move him probably below JSN.
Sure.
But I'm still taking him over Amon-Ra. I don't know.
Wow. I don't know if it's 4, I might take Amon-Ra over him, but this is just speculation at this
that'd
point.
Be tough. Of course, we'll wait and see what they come down with.
Something to keep an eye on. And then just a couple of we think they're minor injuries. We hope they're minor injuries at that wide receiver. At least one of these guys is going to be brought up today. Emeka Egbuka has a toe injury. Sounds like it's not serious. Jordan Tyson also left practice. I don't think we have any. I don't think we got any definitive information on what that was just yet, but obviously something to monitor with both of those guys. Plenty of hype surrounding both of them. So, just obviously whatever your sources are for information on X, wherever you get your news, just keep an eye on Egbuka and Tyson as we continue to move through these final weeks before you start your draft.
Oh baby.
Yeah. Anything else? Those are the news and notes that I had. I don't think I covered some other things from earlier in this week and over the weekend on Tuesday. So feel free to check out that stream if you want to hear some other thoughts about things that happened earlier in the week.
Nope, I think we're good.
Okay. Let's. Okay, so I got one. I'm gonna wrap up this poll. I'm gonna close this poll actually because it's blocking our faces. But. I got one vouch for Kyren, so I may just that's that. If that's the vote, then I'll go Kyren. I liked
Kyren as mine.
Okay, over Brees, over McBride. Okay, I'm fine with that.
Looking at my running back rankings, I mean, I had Kyren as RB 13. I have Brees all the way down at 18, so definitely then. Yeah, I mean, you have. What's the Olave? Olave's not a bad. It would be
Olave's not bad.
Kyren. Olave or Kyren for me.
I'll honor the contribution of Kyren as the selection, and I didn't see any other answers, so I'll honor Kyren. I'll take him. I will. That's a scout's honor. I will draft Kyren, and we'll revisit that. We'll revisit that best ball in due time. Let's get into some wide receiver rankings for the 2026 season. What's going on, Batty? Good to see you. Who was our number one guy? If you're asking wide receivers, we are about to answer that question for you. Again, we already talked about top 12 earlier in the offseason, so there is some reshuffling, at least on my end, a little bit that we need to talk about, and then we'll get into wide receivers 13 to 24.
Do you have our previous rankings or just yours?
I have just mine.
Okay,
I did not write yours down, but I do have mine. But look, we have a significant update about the health and status of Malik Neighbors, and I don't know about you, but I pushed him up from where I previously had him. So that's my significant spoiler alert. That's my significant update. I had him at 10 when we first covered this back in, I think it was June. You? I had Neighbors at 10. He's higher than that now.
I didn't know you had him that high.
I did, just like cautious optimism, like as a late season potential push, but now it's looking like we're going to have him sooner than that.
Yeah. Okay. So that certainly
we're going to have
changes. I hope so.
Yeah. I'll just say, I can't imagine our there's any changes to our, I'll just spoiler alert, Jamar Chase, and I still have Puka as my wide receiver 2. Do you have Chase Puka as 1-2? I assume that's the case.
I do. Yeah.
There's no change there.
No change in my top 3, actually. JSN was
same. Actually, no change in my top 4.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at, didn't we have very similar?
I think we were the same through the first 7, but we might not.
Amon-Ra was next. Yep. And then
Jefferson. I had Jefferson fifth.
Yeah, and I did as well, but that's not who I fifth.
That's
anymore.
not this. That's the same. That has since changed for me.
Okay, so I'm looking back at the previous rankings right now as we do this. I just wanted to have it on here. So the first 4 were like that. I then had Jefferson 5, it looks like. I believe CD was my 6th.
Yeah.
And you were the same. And then Drake London was my 7th. I think you were the same.
Yep.
And then my 8th was Pickens.
I went Nico.
And you went Nico. And then we both had AJ Brown 9.
That's right.
And then we both had Malik Neighbors 10.
Okay.
We both had Malik Neighbors 10.
We had a lot of uniforms. Yeah, we had a lot of. We were in sync on a lot of this, but I don't know that it's going to be the same anymore.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's funny. So let me do a little.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, my wide receiver 5 is CeeDee Lamb. I bumped him up 1 spot.
He's my 5 as well.
There you go.
I think I'm putting him at here. And you would be here, you would be here, you would be here. Okay, I got it now.
All right.
So yes, sorry everybody. I was working a little late and then just had to do a little homework. Not a wedding.
Not a wedding, just a family thing.
Just a family thing.
I get
but
trips mixed up.
All good. Yeah, so okay. This all makes sense. Yep.
Great.
Okay. So yes, I bumped CeeDee Lamb up to 5 over Jefferson. This for me was mostly the Kyler obviously has been named the starter, but did we mention that in news and notes?
I did. I had noticed. I mentioned that on Tuesday because it was announced that day.
Got it. Yeah. No, I just have a bit of a concern with Kyler's passing volume and what that'll mean for Jefferson's upside from his previous series. So nothing to do with the player, as always. I think the CeeDee Lamb thing, the only thing I'm a little weary on is last year was a little, I don't know, strange. Yeah. So, but still awesome guy. They're still going to be throwing the ball a ton. Still have Dak. So I think CeeDee Lamb, you just lock.
I trust that passing offense.
Yep. I I moved Jefferson to 6th.
I was gonna say I did the same thing. The talent is undeniable. I think Jefferson is maybe the he's one of the most talented players in a group of absolute monster studs. Jefferson is a beast. I worry about his situation more than most.
Yeah,
but he's
it's
too
just a
good
little
for me
bit.
to move him too far, further down than this.
I'm curious, what was the I want to look back. Has Kyler supported wide receiver ones before?
DeAndre Hopkins first year he did when DeAndre Hopkins was traded to Arizona. I think he had like a 1,400-yard season, so he did.
Did he?
This was a while ago, but he did. Yeah,
With
DeAndre
1,400
Hopkins
yards?
had a. I think he did. It was like Hopkins had a wide receiver one season his first year in Arizona.
Yeah, he was wide receiver 7 and half PPR. 1,400, 6 touchdowns. Shit. Okay.
Now that was
What?
before Kyler didn't tear his ACL before that season, so he's maybe not the same player.
Right.
But he's done it. He has supported a wide receiver one before.
Okay. And then was it? So he got there in 2019, right? And then 2020 was the. Is that what we're saying? That was the big Hopkins season?
2020 was the big Hopkins season, his first in Arizona. Yeah.
Who has been there? So when was Marv was drafted in 2024?
Right.
So from 1 to 3, who was his receiving core? The top wide receivers there. Do you remember?
You mean every year? I mean, he had Hopkins
like just generally
after that. He had
but was he leading?
The ghost of AJ Green played there. They drafted.
Was it just like
they drafted Rondale Moore? They had I mean, obviously Michael Wilson emerged last year. They had him for a couple of years, but he was a depth guy. I'm trying to think who the other wide receiver was starting opposite Marv his rookie year.
Well, I'm just looking at like target leaders from it's Hollywood Brown.
That's there you go.
For a little bit. I was trying to think of who like bridged that gap, and I don't think they ever really got the guy that was, until they drafted Harrison. They got, not that Harrison has been that guy, but get my point. Like They didn't have like a go-to because it was kind of those retread like veterans.
Yep.
Yeah. I think with O'Connell, I still like Jefferson. I just, if you can. I think what you're trying to do with him is if you have a late round pick, if he can slip into the second round, like you feel like, oh, nice. Like, this guy's going to, give a little more value than people are anticipating. Like, I don't think he could be wide receiver 1, but if he's wide receiver like 3 or 4 at the end of the year, I wouldn't be like stunned.
Surprised. No, because he's that good. Do you take him at the turn if you have the one? If at the 112? You said the second round. Would you take him at the say?
Oh yeah, that's what I mean.
201. Yeah. Okay.
Sure. Yeah. If those guys are all gone, and I mean, depending on what running backs are there and what your roster setup or scoring is like, I would pair him with a running back with a like a Genty or a one of those guys.
Saquon, Chase Brown, Hampton, depending on who you like.
Not Saquon. I'm trying to win the league here.
Well, then you should draft Saquon.
James Cook.
He might be gone, but yeah, Genty
probably will be.
Yeah, probably will be. But yeah, there's Kenneth Walker. I guess is in that. I don't know that I want to draft Kenneth Walker, but he's going to be one of the names that is available there.
Yeah, he's he'll be available there. Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, no, I would like to answer your question. Just yes, he's a guy I would be looking at the turn if I, depending on the other players. But yeah, for sure.
Got it. We both had Drake London at wide receiver 7. This has changed for me, and maybe I'm
you motherfucker.
Maybe I'm going out on a limb. I mean, you should be happy with what I'm about to say. I know you're pro this
Malik.
Guy. I'm
Malik
just going to
Neighbors.
go ahead and put him in. I mean, at this point, I'm putting in Neighbors as my wide receiver 7. You can currently get him at the 2-3 turn. I only assume his ADP is going to continue to climb. It's been
Sure.
nothing but positive news since training camp opened. I think his ADP might not climb over some of these guys, AJ Brown, Drake London, Nico Collins, but in my opinion, it should.
So are you taking Neighbors? Are you taking Neighbors with your second pick with the 2-0? So say you have the 10th pick and you get James Cook. Are you taking Neighbors on with your third pick in the second round?
Jefferson's gone.
Yep. I took him at the turn.
you took him and you smartly took Saquon. Yeah,
no, Saquon was taken between. I didn't take that guy.
In like high stakes leagues, yeah. Maybe I play it safe in like a lower stakes league, but in one of my most competitive leagues, in my more competitive leagues where I'm shooting for the moon, I think in a couple weeks' time when those drafts are going down, yeah.
Just a quick touch on that competitive low stakes. When you just explain, I guess, your mindset of like quickly the difference of the two, how you're going into a draft.
Sure. I guess it's simple. To a fault, I am playing more aggressively in high stakes leagues because I am confident, or because I know that I'm playing with other sharps, for a lack of a better term. I am playing in my high stakes leagues, I am playing with people who also consider it a high stakes league, right? And they're the ones who are just as locked in. They have just as strong opinions. They know what they're doing. They know ceiling plays versus floor plays. They know when to play aggressive versus when to play it safe. A more casual league, and I have them. We all do. We all have the more casual leagues, whether it's a family league or a work league that's for like $20 or $30. I'll play it safe because I'm more confident in my strategy to nail later round picks than my league mates in a casual league. In a high stakes league, you can't sit back and think, oh, I'm just going to get that guy, because you know who else is looking at that same guy that you like in a high stakes league? Everybody else. You got to play aggressive in your high stakes leagues. Your league record, the one that you have the highest buy-in for. These are the ones where you have to play for the ceiling. You got to play to win. If you sink, then you sink, but at least you went down swinging. I don't want to play it safe in those situations.
You're not taking a risky player every time. You're just saying you're more likely to take these risks, like call your shot.
This is a situation where Neighbors' ADP is lower because we were all under the assumption all offseason long, a false assumption as it's looking like that he would end up on the PUP list. That was like every report. The softball, that softball charity game, he was what looked like a death sentence for Neighbors' 2026 campaign, and that's why his ADP is where it is. Now we're getting all of this brand new valuable, real information about where he actually is and where he's, when he's going to be ready, which looks like week 1. So you can't operate like, oh yeah, well, he's been at that ADP all summer, so I'm just going to let him stay there. Like you can operate that way in a casual league, a work league, a family league. You can't operate that way in your high stakes leagues, your league of record. You got to play aggressive. If you have an early second round pick, and maybe you go running back at the end of the first round, and Justin Jefferson is gone. I mean, sure, you could take AJ Brown if you believe in an AJ Brown bounce back, but I mean, Neighbors is younger and proved to be a big time stud right away. You got to call your shot, like you said, at a certain point.
Got it. I like it. I more so wanted to, for everyone else, like when you talk about like a difference or like a strategy change,
there's
what you were referring to.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Yeah, I agree. Back to this, Drake London still at 7.
Still London. I have him at 8. I'll just throw. He bumps. I had him at 7. He bumps down one spot just because the news about Neighbors has been so good since the start of camp.
I then have I've bumped up mostly because it's confirmed. There's good out of camp talk, and he's the one on the team. I've moved. I previously had Pickens here. I moved AJ Brown up to 8.
I have him at. I think I had him. I had him at 9, so I still have him at 9. Nothing has changed. I'm perfectly fine ending up with AJ Brown in, say, the middle of the second round, if that's where my pick falls.
And then I have so interesting. So he moved up for you in terms of who he was originally behind.
Or yes, sorry. Yeah, you're right. I did have Nico here. Yeah, I moved it. I had London at 7, Nico at 8. I have moved AJ Brown ahead of Nico. Yes.
Okay. And then we're at 9. I have Pickens at 9, and then to round it out, I kept Neighbors at 10. That could be. I could see Neighbors jumping up to any like 8, 9, or 10. Like as we get closer, and he's doing team stuff, because he hasn't been doing the team things yet. I don't think, right?
No, he hasn't.
Yeah. So as we get closer, if that's still the progression and everything, I'll maybe start climbing him over these other guys.
Okay.
But yeah, I would say that the only real switch of my previous was that Brown jumped Pickens and jumped Jefferson.
Okay. Yeah, and my significant jump is Neighbors.
Fair. And then you just bumped AJ Brown up, but that's not.
And I bumped AJ Brown up 1 spot. Yeah.
Okay. Should we push on?
We should.
Do you want to go, or am I going?
I'll go. Well, I'll go because this is where I think I had George Pickens pretty high. I did. I looked. I had him around 11 or 12. I'll keep him there. I mean, the Cowboys' passing attack is one that you feel pretty strongly about. It should be good.
Yep. No problem with that. I obviously have him a little higher, but I'm actually going to put a new player that's not been said yet on this list here, and I'm going to go with Rashee Rice at wide receiver.
Okay,
11.
I was wondering when his name was going to pop up. I have him at
right
12.
away.
I have him at 12. So I'll go ahead and put him here.
So it sounds like we're pretty confirmed he's not going to get suspended for any more. He already served the jail time for what he was originally suspended for and punished for. So at this point, it's just him, recovering. The question on his health is the only real issue, but his upside is, Mahomes just to him all day, read to him all day.
New Kelsey, short and intermediates. Yep.
I don't even know if he's that great of a actual wide receiver, if he's on a different team. But who cares? He puts up numbers. He's done it. He's shown he does it.
Yep.
Mahomes looking his way. I think Rashee Rice is a, potential one of those, call your shot league winning type players.
Yeah, they'll line him up in the backfield. Sometimes people hear gadgety and they think to themselves, oh, not the case with Rice. He's dynamic. And again, we say this every time the Chiefs come up. Andy Reid is a guru. Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback. This is always going to be a friendly situation for at least the top weapon in their offenses.
Yeah, he could jump up significantly depending on what we see out of camp the rest of this month. Because there's a world where, and not that crazy one, where you're staring at your, draft board in week 4, and you're like, you have CeeDee Lamb, and it was actually Rashee Rice is doing better.
Why didn't I just take Rice in the first round? You could.
Not even that, but just why didn't I take him higher? It's not, incomprehensible to think he'll be up there with the elites as far as, the production. Mm-hmm. Anything for you to add to that, or?
No, I think Rice is super dynamic. Yeah, you're not gonna ask him to run go routes all game long and hope that he catches a 40-yard bomb. He's gonna it's like death by 1,000 cuts with Rashee Rice. He's gonna catch a ton of passes around the line of scrimmage, and it's gonna, maybe he's one of these guys that has a little less value in standard scoring, just because he doesn't, like, these other players ahead of him have, I think, more big play potential. But
Sure.
I mean, half or full PPR, he's gonna put up strong numbers.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I have Nico Collins here at 12, so that makes us the same. Our 12 are
Our 12 are the same,
aligned,
just in a slightly
different orders.
Yeah. Cool.
My 13. So this is the group 13 through 17. I'm not going to name them all right this second, but they are these smaller body. I don't want to call them. They're not slot receivers. They're smaller body guys that I am going to most likely be shifting around in the order as we get closer to the draft season. But I think the best player out of these 5 guys is Devonta Smith. So I'm going to make him number 13.
That's who I have as well at 13. But I will say the extended absence with the hamstring injury does have me, I'll put a yellow flag, not a red flag.
Right. So just touching on his teammate, who I don't think is going to make your top 24. I'd be shocked if he does. But Mekhi Lemon entering red flag territory for me. And a big reason why is the fact that he's a rookie. Smith already has a rapport with Hurts. So, we just want to see him get back on the field and, get the reps in. But it's to me not an issue of the chemistry, learning the connection with the quarterback, the rest of the offense. Like, Smith's a professional. He's been doing it there for, I don't know, half a decade or whatever it's been. So I have the, ability to slide him down if that hamstring's not, getting better. But yeah, it's certainly concerning. But from a upside and, say he is healthy perspective, the vacated targets, the new play caller, I think there is he's one of these upside guys where, he could really break out this year with him being the primary go-to for Hurts and Mannion.
Yep, I agree. And we've seen him put up big numbers in the past as like a 1B, if you want to call him a 2, that's fine. But yeah, he's big time. We've seen him put up big numbers year in, year out, and now he's got the keys. He's got the keys to wide receiver 1 of that offense. So, yeah, we just need to see the news Devonta Smith returns to practice in the next couple of weeks. That's it. That's all we need to see. Devonta Smith returns to practice because he has missed, like, it feels like we're going on like a week at this point. So that's just the one thing. But, yeah, all I need to see is Devonta Smith returns to practice, and I'm like, yep, low-end wide receiver 1, and that's how I want to draft him. I'll kick off wide receiver 14 since you did wide receiver 13. This is where I have Chris Olave. The only concern here,
aligned.
We are okay. I mean, look, the dude is coming off of an incredible season. I think the best of his career. Just got the big payday. Shuck is probably the best quarterback Olave has officially played with in his career. He didn't overlap with Breeze, right? It was just Derek Carr and then Spencer Rattler. So, I mean, he's in the best situation of his
Carr
career.
Would be the argument, but Carr was fading at that point.
Carr was on his last leg. So this is his far and away best situation. Just got paid. The only, I wouldn't even call it a concern, just something to discuss, is there is a competent wide receiver 2. Not that Rashid Shaheed wasn't, but I think Jordan Tyson has the upside to be a maybe more complete wide receiver than Rashid Shaheed. So, if depending on how many targets he takes away, that could be the one thing. But I'm talking about semantics here. I'm not like super worried about it. Olave is the wide receiver 1. Tyson, if anything, you can turn that argument that I just brought up on its head and say, well, that actually maybe frees things up for Olave, that defenses can't just key on him. They have a competent wide receiver 2 in Tyson that defenses have to respect. So, I think now they've got a full, they being Shuck and Olave, a full off season of working together. It's not a mid-season change like it was last year with Rattler
Right.
being the guy. I think the vibes are good. He made a big, nice catch today in practice over Travis Hunter. I saw that. It was quite
Yep.
nice. Take that stuff with a grain of salt if you want, but hey, it's a nice reminder that these dudes are ballers. Olave's a baller. Low-end wide receiver 1, or getting drafted as a high-end wide receiver 2, but he can certainly finish as a wide receiver 1.
Yeah, no doubt. Olave is, and I think we're kind of past at this point I don't want to say he can't get one again, but like the narrative and being worried about him, from a concussion standpoint year to year, I'm hoping is behind us now. He just did a full season without really having an issue. So, hopefully that's in his past. But I'm just saying I'm not fading him at all for that being a lingering problem.
That was a deterrent last year. It's not this year.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. My next guy. So continuing what I was saying, Emeka Egbegbu.
Egbegbu. Interesting. I do not have him this high. He is obviously on this list for me, but I do not have him here.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm interested in these guys now that have vacate high, the one left and a change in play caller, I think can be a real, boost for a guy. It's what we saw out of JSN, right? After Metcalf was out of there. Clint Kubiak comes in and is calling the plays. So I'm not the biggest Zach Robinson guy, so it's less about him. It's more about that. I can't even say it right. Egbuka.
You messed it up on purpose, and now you can't go back to the actual.
I'm paying for it. Yeah, Egbuka is. We saw his talent. He's had these weird drop issues at the end of the last season. I think the team, Baker was hurt. The vibes just got bad in general. I don't think the vibes are fantastic coming out of the Bucks camp anyway, but. That doesn't mean that, he's going to be a total disappointment by any means. And I think he has that upside to really, establish himself as one of the premier wide receivers in this league. I worry slightly that I'm becoming a bigger Godwin guy than I was, but I don't think it's going to be a problem because, again, Egbuka is going to lead in targets. He's like Baker can sustain 2 wide receivers. And the other thing too is with Gainwell coming in, is he going to be eating into that passing game more than we anticipate? But I just have to imagine that Evans gone. Yes. Well, Gainwell or Irving, if he's healthy, will get a lot of targets, but the Egbuka is going to be going up in his, and I want to buy into Egbuka. And I think if he doesn't do the end of last year, right, like think about it like this, Nick, if he continued to play well or decent and then Evans is gone, his ADP right now in Underdog is wide receiver, I have it written here, 15, sleeper at 17. They both have him in it's like the end of third, early fourth, that 3-4 kind of turn area, ADP wise. I think he's for sure up in the, back of the second kind of range with, he's like on fringe, back end wide receiver 1, maybe mid wide receiver 1. So I certainly think he has the upside to do that.
61 vacated targets from Mike Evans last year. Now, Evans missed a good bit of the season.
Oh, okay.
From last year. Evans missed a good bit of the season last year. And then another 45 vacated targets from Rachaad White. But to your point, Gainwell, now I don't know if he's going to get 85 targets again like he did with Pittsburgh. Probably not, because Pittsburgh didn't have a competent wide. Gainwell was their wide receiver 2 last year. He's not going to need to be the Bucs wide receiver 2 this year because of Egbuka and Godwin. So, all that to say, the path is there for Igbokwe to ascend. He was a wide receiver 1 through the first half of the season last year. So, now it's just a matter of can he sustain it, right? I think there's a lot of belief that he can, that he's talented enough. The situation, while it's a little dicey, we didn't have the great, like you mentioned, we didn't have the best vibes to start Bucs camp, but that doesn't mean that just like a single player is going to suddenly be submarined because there's a couple of unhappy campers. And you even called out, you actually liked Baker upon thinking about the contract dispute. A motivated Baker Mayfield could actually mean good things for all of the pass catchers, and with the assumption of Igbokwe being the top dog, then we're not really worried. The only thing to call out now is we don't think this toe injury is serious, but obviously it's just something to keep an eye on. Should be minor. I don't have him quite this high. I have him a couple spots down. I won't say where exactly, but he is certainly firmly in this wide receiver 2 discussion with, I think, low end wide receiver 1 upside. I don't know that he has top 5 upside, but he can certainly sneak into the low end conversation. Low end wide receiver 1 conversation.
He had the drop issues obviously as well last year. I think he led the league with 9 is what I saw, but if he can clean that up, because if I remember, that wasn't a thing he did at Ohio State. So I don't know what the deal there was. But yeah, I don't know. I could see myself sliding him down amongst these 5 guys that I was saying. I think it'll end, my 13 through 17 will probably be consistent. But it's where he'll end up falling in that. Who do you have at 15?
So this is where I surprised myself a little bit, because I've never really bought in to one Baltimore Ravens wide receiver, Zay Flowers, but I think I'm buying. He had like 200 half PPR fantasy points last year without Lamar Jackson for stretches of the season, or at the very least, Lamar was not 100%. If he got Lamar picked up an injury early-ish in the season, and there's anybody's guess if he was quite right at any point after that, as the Ravens season kind of went into the tank. Despite that, Flowers still had a really strong season. And now, there's a little bit of reason, I think, for some excitement with this offense, because they bring in Declan Doyle from the Bears, and that's the Ben Johnson coaching tree. So, if you believe in Ben Johnson, then do by default, do you feel decent about one of his disciples? He's going to have his chance to show what he can do as a play caller, as an offensive coordinator. Flowers is the clear cut. I mean, the wide receivers that are behind him on the depth chart is, an unfortunately, so far disappointing Rashad Bateman. They drafted 2 rookies. Jacoby Lane has been killing it in training camp. I put a video out about him just today, or yesterday, excuse me. Feel free to go check that out. Elijah Surratt, from Indiana, who I haven't seen a ton of noise about, but fourth round rookie. And then it's Chris Moore, who is 33 and has never had more than 50 catches in a season. In fact, he only cleared 40 once. And then it's Devontae Walker, who's a third-year guy and has 7 career catches. I mean, I know obviously Mark Andrews, retains primary tight end pass catching duties, but Zay Flowers is basically alone on a pedestal in this Ravens wide receiver room, attached to what I still think is one of the best quarterbacks in the league in Lamar Jackson, and it's a healthy Lamar Jackson. Yes, it's a new system that they have to learn, but I think it's one where if you have any belief in a Ben Johnson-led offense, I mean, it might look something similar to that, because they hired away Declan Doyle. Regardless, I think Flowers is set up for success as the clear alpha. I think he caught 4 touchdowns last year even if he had a few fewer catches and a few fewer yards, but a healthy Lamar gets him into that 7 or 8 range. I mean, plus with the payday, I think for the first time, Flowers has always felt like a kind of boring pick to me, and maybe that's been unfair. I feel a little bit stronger about him this year.
He finished as the wide receiver 7 last year, but the reason I can't get on board with him is because I'm going to read you what his finishes were week by week.
Yeah, I know he's volatile.
Week 1, he was wide receiver 1. So excellent. He went 7 for 143 and a touchdown, 24 points. No insane weeks out of wide receivers, obviously, that year, but for that week. After that, wide receiver 31, 89, 26, 33, 47, 28, 33, 30, 21, 30, 107. And then you hit week 14, and then it was 8, 17, 10, 24, 9 to close out the year. Lamar was going healthy for all that other stuff. His point totals 11, 2, 10, 9, 5, 10, 8, 10, 9, 9. Like, he was just consistently getting 9, 10 points every week. And then once, later in the year, 16, 14, 17, 11, 27. So he had two games of over 20 points. He's going to consistently give you, like, he's not going to, blank you or get you like 2 or 3, really. He's going to get you like, 9 to 11 most weeks. But like we're talking about, like, I can replace that. Like, I'm not scared. If my opponent has Zay Flowers on their team, I'm not looking at his roster and being like, oh, like, I got to look out for Zay Flowers. Like, if he gets me, he gets me. And I just got hit with one of those random weeks, but it's not I'm not like, oh shit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Everyone was shocked with the contract, right? Like, it was like, what are they doing?
They were shocked with that was a surprise.
So the Ravens do believe in him. Who knows? Like, yes, there are changes, like you were saying, the coaching change and everything. I think he's a really good player. I just think with, the way the Ravens offense works with Lamar at the helm, it's not going to produce, the elite type wide receiver that you're looking for at this point. I think these other guys in this range, Smith, Olave, I think Ibuka, Egbuka, yeah, I was going to say it right.
You meant to say Egbegbu.
Egbegbu. My next 2 guys, like, we'll get to him. If you want to fill him in on mine, because we're talking about him, you can. I have him all the way down at wide receiver 21.
Ah, okay. We're at odds on Zay Flowers. That's okay.
So there might be a Zay Flowers pepper bet happening.
There could be.
My wide receiver 16. I mean, do you have anything like?
No, yeah, that's valid.
To what I said there, like
that's valid. I guess maybe I'm just I'm banking on a healthier Lamar, and just. Yes, obviously it's a run. They want to run the ball within this offense, but I guess I look at the situation. I look at Lamar, still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Bounce back. They missed the playoffs last year. He's healthy. Like, I guess there's just some intangibles that I like, and that's why I have him here. Yeah, like I said, in previous seasons, I looked at him on the draft board and I said, no way. And for some reason this year I feel more confident than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
that's pretty much it.
Sounds like you are being misled by your own stupid brain.
By my own thoughts.
Yeah.
I've been misled by my own brain before.
We're on 16 now, right?
We're on 16. Let's do one more, and then I'll quickly answer a question in the chat. Appreciate everybody coming and hanging out tonight.
I'm going with Lad McConkey as my
wow, Lad the dad.
Yeah, is he a dad?
He's everyone's dad if he's a wide receiver 1 this year.
I think McConkey could bounce back this year.
Okay.
Mike McDaniel as the OC position. I like the Chargers offense. I think the O-line is going to be, better for Herbert, setting up those plays. And Keenan Allen, I really think as we get further into this, there's a good chance he's not back in LA, which is my hold up for McConkey, or was. The thing that I was a little sour on him was his ADP compared to like Quentin Johnston, who I also think he's a good value pick that I want to get on my teams. So there's a chance that I don't get as much McConkey because I'm like holding out on the ADP for his teammate. But the bigger factor is that with Keenan Allen not there, it's really going to be those two guys, in my opinion, that are going to be, I believe they'll be the two out there on, 12 and 21 personnel. So it's, I think he gets back to like what we're seeing kind of rookie year from him. Incredibly talented. One of those guys that just it seems to be open, and after the catch, he's like making plays. Again, he's bundled in with those other guys. I may move him above Ibuka. Who knows? I'm in on McConkey this year, but if I don't get him, it's okay because I think I'm just in on a lot of those Chargers weapons in general.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, they're a trendy pick to be a top flight offense, and rightfully so. The pieces are in place. Mike McDaniel is an exciting hire. I have him a couple spots down. I think I have him at 18. I don't have much more to add to that. I'll go ahead and slot him in. I do expect
any negative.
I guess I would say, do you attribute his disappearance in the second half last year to just like the offensive line fell apart and so therefore the rest of the offense pretty much fell apart?
McConkey's disappearance?
McConkey disappeared in the second half of the season last year. He was unusable, unstartable.
Oh, yeah.
Like it could be like Joe Alt, Rashawn Slater, they were both gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They had the O-line was decimated. I'd have to look at what the rest of the. I'd be curious what Keenan. I have to look at Keenan Allen's.
I think everybody struggled. I think Herbert was like unusable outside of superflex formats. I think the whole offense was. Just
Keenan Allen was dead.
They were all. I think they were all bad. Even Ladd was unusable. He was probably a guy that it was like I feel like I have to start him every week, but I don't want to.
Herbert scored over 20 points. 20 points, which is for a quarterback is sorry. He scored over. He scored over 18 points one time.
It was bad
from week 10 on.
Yeah,
and he didn't miss any games. He had his bye week on week 12, but yeah, it was brutal.
It was bad. That's like the one thing. But like I guess are we? I think my own answer to my answer to my own question is yes, but are we attributing all of that to no Joe Alt and no Rashawn Slater?
A big chunk of it, but then it's not just that. Like when you look last year to this year, like people are doing this with like Devon. I see people Devon Achane like looking at it and they're like, and like part of why I'm down on Achane now is the quarterback is different. Yeah. That is a huge factor.
Yeah.
Tua notoriously checked it down to him. And when Tua didn't play, Achane, I forget it was last year or the year before, both, but he was like so much worse as like a fantasy player.
2 years ago, Tua missed time and Achane was like not.
And it was bad.
He was just okay. It was not good.
Yeah. And last year, I think Tua played for the most part last year, right? And then.
Yeah, he played most of the
and
year
he was incredible last year. Consistent,
was awesome. Yeah,
in the receiving game. So it's like you can't just look at it last year, this year. There's a variable change that happened. And with the Chargers, there's variable change. I'm not just talking about the tackles. Mike McDaniel is there.
Yep.
And he is literally the OC that we're talking about with this Achane argument. So,
yep.
Yeah, I think they're going to do some big things this year. The Chargers are on offense. He hasn't had a quarterback that has the arm talent that Herbert has, because I don't think there's many that do in general, but like Tua certainly doesn't. Yeah, I might be talking myself into McConkey over Ibuka as I'm talking more
wheels
and more.
Up,
but
wheels up on the Chargers.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to do it, but I will do. If you want, I'm just looking at it now. I would talk about. Well, let's just finish and then we'll do some peppers. Do you want to answer Justin's?
Yeah,
question?
well, let's just really quickly. Keeper league. Who are you sticking with between Trey McBride and Malik Neighbors? I mean, I think my answer is I have to say Neighbors. I bumped him up all the way up to my wide receiver 7.
I usually for keeper leagues really just look at what the current ADP is, if I'm being honest. But this is interesting because Neighbors is a maybe below McBride or around McBride in ADP, like
at least, well, on
definitively
Underdog.
On Underdog. That's right.
On Underdog, yeah. Let me check Sleeper.
I think it is Neighbors is the answer. I think it is. And team makes it's full PPR, which you could argue helps McBride.
on Sleeper. Oh, wow. Okay. Sleeper is still slow to catch up. McBride is ahead of Neighbors on Sleeper by about 8 pick. McBride's got an ADP of 20. Neighbors has an ADP of 27 on Sleeper. So McBride is higher on Sleeper. I guess I will say this. I like Neighbors. I like Neighbors as well, but in 10 team,
the tight end. Yeah.
I would say the onesie position, the core, like it's okay to grab high-end quarterbacks and tight ends because there's more options to fill out your roster with other positions in 10 team. It's a little bit more challenging to do that in 12 team leagues. So McBride, I think, does hold a little bit more value in 10 team than he would in 12 team. I just worry about the Cardinals at the end of the season, and are they starting Carson Beck? Like in the fantasy playoffs when Arizona has 2 wins and they bench Jacoby for Carson Beck, like what's Trey McBride going to do in those? That's like I know I'm painting a very specific picture, but like it absolutely could happen. I think I would still go Neighbors as my keeper between the two of them.
Yeah, I agree.
Like Trey McBride's awesome, but I worry about the scenario where a 1 or 2 win Arizona Cardinals team is starting Carson Beck during the fantasy playoffs, and then I'm not going to want any Cardinals.
No, I still want McBride. You didn't see what he did in the Hall of Fame game?
That's true. Carson Beck is looking like a future stud, even though even though he's not playing today.
Correct. Brissett, I think, went pretty well, though. Do you see Maserati
Marv is all the way back, baby. Yeah, he caught a touchdown. So we'll see. We'll see what type of momentum he carries in after that.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I quite like Ladd. I don't hate the idea of like moving him up a spot or two. I'm right behind you on him, like by 2 spots. But my wide receiver 16 may be a little aggressive. He is definitely available later in drafts than this, but this is where I have Jalen Waddle.
That's who I have at 17.
Okay, so we're not too.
That rounds out my smaller body.
Your smaller guys, yeah.
Receivers.
Obviously, the concern with Waddle, like the concern with Ladd, was the sum of the parts. The concern with Waddle is Waddle because he always is limping off the field.
The concern with Waddle is the parts.
It's the parts, right? He is the parts that I'm worried about. Waddle's awesome, but he comes with like.
Yep.
You're gonna go through a roller coaster of emotions on a game by game basis with a Waddle because you're gonna get 3 different updates. Jalen Waddle changed from healthy to questionable, back to healthy, back to questionable, back to in the locker room, back to somehow on the field and just made a 25-yard catch. Like, that's the Jalen Waddle experience. But he's uber talented. He is a route running like winner. He's a great route runner. And now he's in the best situation of his career. Bo Nix has been awesome through the first couple seasons of his career. And it seems like Courtland Sutton is maybe getting the talk of the town right now is Pat Bryant, which I think is potentially coming at the expense of Courtland Sutton. Waddle is going to operate as this team's wide receiver one. He's got a good quarterback. He's got a good offensive mind, a great offensive mind in Sean Payton as head coach. And this is a Broncos offense with high expectations, a team with high expectations. They traded a first and a second for him. I mean, the key here is they traded a first-round pick for him. So, I mean, you don't trade a first-round pick without the intention of making that guy your primary top target. And in this offense, I think Waddle will shine. I think he's poised for a big year. I think he's in a great spot. I think he's in a great situation. He just needs to. I don't want to say he just needs to stay healthy because we could say that about everybody, but he truly is like a drive-by-drive type of guy where if you can survive that roller coaster of emotions, I truly think you'll be rewarded by Jalen Waddle this year. And he's very affordable still. You can get him in the 4th round. I'd be happy to take him a round higher than where he's currently going.
Yeah, he went in the he was traded for a first, a third, and then it was a 4th round swap in favor of Miami.
Got it.
Sorry,
okay.
in favor of Denver. Okay. So Denver moved up like 20 picks in the 4th round, and then gave up the 1st and the 3rd this year to get him. Waddle. I actually don't like that you have him higher than me. That's because I like. That's because I like Igbuka and Ladd more than you. Waddle is someone I want to move up to. It's tough because it's breaking through these other guys that are. I like all 5 of these guys.
I guess.
So they're all
I guess the point is regardless
I want one
of
them on my team,
and you probably will end up with one of them. And so this is a semantics portion of rankings for me. I like all of these guys, and I'm happy to end up with any one of them.
Yeah, Waddle. I feel like Waddle is potentially going to be looked back because he's switching, right? He's switching teams. He's a better quarterback situation. He's going to be the one, like you said. He's been making highlight plays in camp already. I could see him just like the team that should have been in the Super Bowl. Sorry, but not sorry, Pats fans. Denver would have smoked you if Bo Nix didn't break his ankle on a kneel down or whatever it was the game before. Should have been in the Super Bowl. They're hungry to compete. Waddle has never been on a competitive team in his career in the NFL. I could see this being a holy shit. This was the guy that, went, where did he go 10th overall in his draft class? Wasn't he right?
Yeah. 10th.
I think he went ahead of Smith, right? No, you guys.
Did he go 6th?
He did go 6th.
Did he go 6th? Yeah,
Where was that? What was that draft, Nick? That was 2021. Who was the wide receiver? That was Chase. He went right after Chase. It was Chase at 5, Waddle at 6.
Smith. Yeah.
Smith was at 10.
Yeah.
Yep. So, top 6 pick in the NFL draft.
That's a start.
Yep. No, I love me some Waddle.
We're in on
17. Who you got?
You had Waddle. This is where this is where I have T. Higgins. I guess this might be the first.
Wait, do we have a delay going?
Do we? No. We do.
Tell me when you hear me now.
Now.
Yep, we do. I'll even come back.
All right, drop and come back. All right, I'll start talking about T. Higgins really quickly. Will rejoin us shortly. and then and we'll get back on track. This is where I have Higgins. Obviously, he's the first wide receiver two. Well, oh, sorry, Pickens is the first wide receiver two. Like his team's wide receiver two. Higgins is the second team wide receiver two that I have on this list behind Pickens. Um,
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, we're good.
We're good. This is where I have Higgins. I mean, we're basically just banking on the Bengals passing attack being what we hope it to be, with a healthy Burrow, healthy Chase, healthy Higgins. Again, like Jalen Waddle, Higgins is the type of dude to limp off every other drive. And he has missed time every year of his career. Higgins does not typically play a full season. So you're going to have to, if you buy in or believe in T. Higgins, you got to kind of, those are the lumps you have to take. He's probably going to miss 2-3 games. But honestly, if he only misses 2 or 3 games, you take that because Higgins has the upside of a top 10 wide receiver being attached to Joe Burrow. So that's, I guess, what I'm banking on here. He's a late-ish third-round pick. I don't think I would take him higher than that, but if I have a late first-round pick in redraft, and so therefore I have a late third-round pick, and Higgins is there, and all these other guys that we like are gone, this is a guy that I'm fine ending up with. We're rolling the dice on a projected top-tier passing offense being just that, top tier. Higgins is uber talented. Obviously, he is the clear, number 2 to Jamar Chase, but he is good enough to put up wide receiver 1 numbers. We've seen him do it. It's just a matter of, it's again, like Waddle specifically, and then I'll stop with this. It's just a matter of health, not just with Higgins, but with Burrow as well.
He's my 18. So, yeah, Higgins is really, really good.
Yes,
as you said, the second wide receiver 2 on the list. I think his health is what keeps him a little lower. But yeah, the only reason he's behind a lot of these guys is just because we haven't really seen him do like a full season of excellence yet,
Sure.
It's I have it up here real quick. Yeah, his best fantasy finish was last year. He was wide receiver 12, and that was on the back of 11 touchdowns. But he's only broken 1,000 yards twice, never broken 1,100. He's never had more than 75 receptions in a year. So it's going to be, but the thing with it too is, 2023, 2024, he missed a bunch of games, like four or 5 games each season. Yeah, I like Higgins. He shows up for games. I think he gets a little bit overshadowed by Chase.
Sure.
Which makes sense. Chase is insane, but his upside is like weirdly like I don't know. It feels like we've just been doing it because it's 5 years and like the talent is there, and it's just like, are we really gonna like believe that this guy can do like a 1,210 season? Like, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
It's a weird situation. It's a weird case study, I guess. But yeah, like we said, the talent is undeniable, and I guess that's what we're banking on. Is a talented player coming through in a good situation. Maybe not a guy that can break through and be a league winner, but a guy that, if healthy, he'll put up strong numbers for you.
Yeah, and just to like kind of walk through real quick what. Like when I'm talking about like Zay Flowers and then versus like a T Higgins, like T Higgins finished worse on the season, but like he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if you count week 18, which I won't, but he had 3 top 12 finishes, and then another 1, 2 wide receiver 2 finishes. Like to start the season, like not great, but I think what I'm saying is like your receiver getting you 5 points versus 9 points isn't going to be like as big a deal as your receiver getting you like 18 to 20 points versus 10, 11 points. Like, so that's why I see the pop from a Higgins type player more than a Zay Flowers, like as far as
Sure.
the upside. And yeah, he gets in the end zone. He does have games where he has a lot of targets. He's not a huge yardage guy as we've seen, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have much to add to it. I like the guy. I think he's just like percolating in that, like mid wide receiver 2 range. And he's not a guy I'm like excited to draft unless he's slipping into, what ADP does he have right now? He's going, I see it right now. It's 35 on Underdog, 37 on Sleeper. So like, I don't know, like if he slips into like the mid to back of the 4th round for some reason, like then I'm like, oh shit, like yeah,
right. That's like
I'm down to get him as
not be here. Yeah.
Yeah, if he's like my wide receiver 3, or like I have 2 running backs in the first 3 rounds and I can get him as my wide receiver 2, I'm like, oh shit, like that's sick. So like he's more of like an accessory that can like bring my team value rather than like the guy who I think is going to pop off and have wide receiver like top 5 or 6 upside. Do you have Ibuka as 19?
Fair enough. Yeah, this is where I have a big boo.
Big boo.
Yeah, I mean, I guess not as bullish as you are. Excited. I mean, he put up wide receiver 1 numbers in the first half of the year last year. Obviously, it's just like, can we shake the bad negative direction that the season went for the Bucs offense in the second half last year? And,
yeah,
I think he can. But let's see him sustain it for a whole year before I officially put him in that like top 15 range.
Oh, all good. I don't think you're going to get much of him then.
I don't think I'm going to get a lot of Ibuka, no. But yeah, I am I'm going to probably be out on Ibuka, and I will live with that.
I got Tet at 19.
Okay.
Tetaroa, excuse me.
Tetaroa and McMillan. Well, I know there's A's and O's in there. I'll just leave it.
It's like OIRA or something.
AOI.
AIROA.
LMNOP.
Tetaroa.
Tetaroa McMillan.
Tetaroa. King
Okay.
Tet. Okay, shut up.
I'll slide him in here because I have him a couple spots down. He's my wide receiver 21. Oh my god.
Yeah. He's gonna be the one on the Panthers. Showed up last year. I like him taking a step forward. I don't love the yardage potential that Young has for Tet.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think his upside is limited. But another guy I kind of have in like the T Higgins conversation, just like more potential. I could see myself sliding him ahead of T Higgins for that reason. Like if I see the 2 of them, like I don't know. I like Ted at Arizona. I want to see. I don't know if I'm like have bought in on him being like a top 10 potential guy because of the young Bryce Young.
It's because of Bryce Young. I mean, Tet is great. I think Tet's really good. I was less bullish on him coming out. I admittedly should have been a little bit more in on him, but this situation does not get me enthused to draft him. So, yeah, could I end up with Tet? Of course. We're always interested in a team's wide receiver 1, just from a target share perspective.
Yeah.
But Bryce Young potentially holds him back.
Yep, for sure.
That's why I'm down at 21. That's really all I have to say about Tet. I think the individual talent, great. The situation, not as exciting.
I can see him taking a step forward though, year 2, which is again why I'm a little higher on him than you.
Sure. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm perfectly happy to end up with him. He's not off my board. I'm not crazy about the Panthers offense.
Who's your 20?
Wide receiver 20. This is where I have Garrett Wilson, and it almost feels like he should be a little bit higher.
Same for me.
Hey. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's the same thing as Tet. I guess Garrett Wilson's I think Garrett Wilson's a better player. I mean, but he's in an even worse situation than Tet is. I don't trust Geno Smith. Is he an upgrade over Justin Fields? Sure. That's a pretty low bar. No offense, Justin Fields, but the bar for quarterback play in New York is not super high right now. I just don't know that Geno is the one to make me feel good enough to be like, yep, I'm bumping Garrett Wilson up around like in ADP, and I'm taking him, 7-8 spots above consensus, 10 spots above consensus. Geno Smith's not that needle mover. Yeah, he should stabilize the situation a little bit, but this remains one of the on paper ickiest looking situations. Is just the Jets offense. Like Garrett Wilson is a great talent. Breece Hall is a great talent. Them being on the Jets make me less excited and less enthused to draft them. I want to believe in Garrett Wilson. We've all seen the talent. We know he's got the potential to be really, really good. His situation holds him back. Oh, and I think Aaron Glenn is like not long for the head coaching job.
Fair.
Yeah.
That is more than fair. Yeah, I would say this though. Before he got hurt last year, 19-7, 19, 17, 16, and in the game he got hurt 2. That's how many fans.
We'll throw that out. We'll throw that game out.
He was scoring great. He was targets galore, 9, 8, 13, 8, 10. He was getting a touchdown 4 of the 5 games. Like, perfect example of a guy on a bad offense with immense talent. That is, was Geno terrible last year? Of course. Is he better for Wilson than Fields? Potentially. Is he worse? Maybe. I don't think so. I don't think he is. I mean, Fields is bad too. Like,
Fields is not good. Yeah.
I think Wilson could be a real nice value grab for your drafts. I would love to have him as my wide receiver too, and I could easily talk myself into putting him above Tet and T. Higgins and putting him in the later end of that, small body guys.
Okay, fair enough.
My small body boys.
You like your small bodies.
If guys are, they're small. They're smaller than me, so they're small body boys.
Okay, that's how that works.
Yeah.
Okay. Wide receiver 22. This is where I have Mike Evans.
I have.
We're probably going to have a couple different answers.
Included Mike Evans on this list.
That's fine. I know there's a couple other names that are. This is probably where there's going to be a little bit of volatility, just because like it's just kind of dealer's choice of like how you want to round out your wide receiver 2s. I guess I just believe in Mike Evans. Just I know it's a new situation, but I mean, and I know he's older and the substation is looming, but I mean, the 49ers are they're going to need to rely on him heavy in the passing game. I mean, Ricky Pearsall is already done for the year. Dejon Stribling is a rookie. Christian Kirk is the veteran presence. I mean, and George Kittle, who looks healthy but is working his way back from a torn Achilles. I mean, they need Mike Evans. It's a good situation. Future Hall of Famer. I know he's older. He's not the same Mike Evans as he was, say, 3-4 years ago. But you bet on Hall of Fame talent, even in the twilight of their careers, and that's all I'm doing here. That's just what I'm betting on, Hall of Fame talent, even if it's at the end as opposed to closer to the prime.
Yeah, I've been sort of souring a little bit on Evans.
Oh no.
I think his injury history from last year and then it's happening this year, and like I don't know. I don't know if the upside with him is there anymore. Like it, obviously it was before. I just like guys. I just like a few guys better, and I think he's just. I'm starting to lose my excitement over him. And Stribling has been looking great in camp. They brought in Debo. That was more to replace Pearsall.
That's right. They brought in Debo.
But they're yeah. I mean, he's gonna if he's healthy, he's gonna have his games for sure. I'm slipping on him a little bit.
Okay.
I'm willing to take a few of these guys ahead of him, unless do you have anything else on 22?
Not really. I'm gonna probably keep it short at this point. It's just like this is kind of dealer's choice.
Yeah.
This is we're probably gonna break ranks a little bit, and that's okay.
I am going JMO here.
That's a good one. I didn't put him in here, but I should.
Oh, gross, Nick.
I know.
You even watch ball?
I sometimes, occasionally
when it's on.
When it's on, and yeah, I don't know what else I'd be watching.
Jameson Williams.
I do like JMO.
Wide receiver 10 last year.
Oh,
is that not insane?
He's so good. I'm
after
so happy
the bye.
For JMO.
After
I'm
the
so happy
bye.
for JMO.
After the bye, 14, 20, 17. He had that blank in New York or against New York, which sucked. 23, 13, 22, and then 9, 4, and 10 to finish out the season.
So
but
he didn't do great in the fantasy playoffs.
No, but don't let that. I mean, that's just like it's not like he's like, all right, I'm gonna take off now. Like he's the nuts. He is exactly. I'm maybe even moving him. I don't know. Put him above Zay Flowers for me.
Okay.
He's wide receiver 21. There's no reason I'm taking him behind Flowers.
Okay, that's fair.
It's the exact argument that I was making before, where it's like he has the ability to go out and win you a week. He has the ability to go out and contribute more consistently. Zay Flowers is like, oh man, he's like a guy that's like. He's like a wide receiver, like 3 that like pops off once in a while. That you're like,
I'll put JMO.
You're like, oh, I can count on him for 10 points. Like
I'm calling an audible. I'll put JMO on my list.
Yes, a good boy.
There, no, the guy. Yeah, he is a slate busting big play waiting to happen.
And Lions O-line is great. Goff has been playing very, very well there. They have. I don't know what their count is this year. It looks like one, all their home games, so away games, no. Like to start the year, they're at home a lot, or they're playing indoors a lot, which is great.
Yeah, they don't play a cold weather game until week 17.
Yeah,
unless it rains in
no,
Miami.
At Minnesota, week 15.
That's a dome.
Oh, you're right. I'm stupid.
That's a dome.
Chicago. Week 17. Yeah.
That's so it. Championship week. He'll get you to championship week playing in domes and warm weather.
And then just sit him that. You just have to sit him that week.
He's going to get you to championship week, and then you put him on.
He'll be wide receiver 3 on the season. Just make sure sit him that.
And then and then you make the ballsy call to avoid him in week 17 when you need him most.
God. Yeah, I'm going JMO.
That's
and
fair.
Then you slid him there.
Yeah, I could. Oh, man, I could find a way to put him higher too. I do like JMO. That was an oversight by me to initially leave him off. Thank you I quickly corrected that.
And then I'm getting real. Wait. Let me make sure I have. Oh, I adjusted some guys. Okay. Yeah. So JMO I have at 21, Flowers at 22. Yeah. My 23. I have the right to move some guys around. He's older, but if Daniels is healthy, we saw him do it with him. Terry can be scary sometimes.
I had
2
him
years
as
ago,
my
he
I
was.
had him as my wide receiver 23, so I'll bump him down to 24.
Okay.
So we're on the same
behind
page
Evans.
there. Yep.
Okay. And then
Bring it home.
McLaurin's. All right, we'll just finish it off here. Well, I didn't. You want to talk about McLaurin at all?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Jaden Daniels. They did it together already. I mean, I'm looking at the game log because I'm trying to remember, but he got hurt too.
He did. Terry had a weird year last year. He had the contract. He was holding out the contract dispute. It got done late in the game, but Terry wasn't practicing, so the vibes were bad. Terry was on my do not draft list last year for all of those reasons.
Ooh, gotcha.
And then they never played together. Terry was hurt, and then Daniels was hurt, and it felt like they were alternating weeks as far as when they were available. I think they played 3 games together last year, if that, maybe 3 or 4.
Have you seen this new team tab on Sleeper, by the way?
Team tab?
When you're looking at a player and shows you the summary, and then
they
log.
updated the layout of how the depth chart displays.
The team tab, the depth chart is pretty cool. I like that.
It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah. That's what I use if I'm going quickly to if I want to see his teammate. Although it's not letting me
they
click
made it a little
here.
bit more, yeah.
Yeah, so Daniels, okay. Yeah, he was in and out most of last year.
Yeah, it was a lost season for both. They alternated availability, available weeks last year. It never worked out.
Yeah. No, but I think Terry could, I don't think he was wide receiver 6 in 2024. I don't think that's in play. He's a little older. He'll be 31 pretty soon. Right? I think his birthday's coming up.
Yeah, he's a little older.
But yeah, it'll basically be 31 this year. Yeah, September 15th, he'll be 31. So 31-year-old season. So, but yeah, I mean, the guy's got this talent, the speed, the quarterback, easily be a mid-level wide receiver too.
Yep.
And then to finish it off, I reserve the right to switch on this, but I'll keep it for now. I'll tell you who I wanted to put on this list, and it's just tough to jump him up this high. I almost just want to do it to talk about him. It's gonna be Davante Adams. I wanted to put Parker Washington here.
Parker Washington is getting fitted for his Hall of Fame jacket as we speak.
My Parker Washington take at the beginning of me joining this podcast was so fucking stupid, and I am so glad I did not take action on that.
I feel like I could have gotten him from you for a second-round pick in Dynasty back
Probably could have.
Yeah.
Not now.
Not now. No shot now.
Oh my gosh. No, but yeah, to Adams, the guy's just he's been doing it with Rodgers. Stafford was doing it with them last year with the end zone. The team has high expectations. They're going to be, playing to win. It is their red zone offense is throw it to Adams. He had 30 some targets last year in the red zone. 12 red zone touchdowns or something.
Yep. It was crazy.
And he did all that, and we talked about this. They were missing on between the 20s type stuff. So if they hit on those things, is this his second year with them or third?
So it'll be year 2.
Yeah. Come on. I don't think he's lost a step either. It's
the same thing I think about with Mike Evans. And I had Adams on he was my 24 as well before I put JMO in here.
It's just tough because he's old.
He's the thing.
33 and a half.
But I would say the same thing about Mike Evans. I guess I'm just willing to ignore that a little bit with Hall of Fame talent. Mike Evans, Davante Adams, these guys are Hall of Famers. It's like Derrick Henry at running back. You look at age and you throw it out the window until you see it in real time, the fall from grace. And until you see it, I don't want to predict it. I'm just going to enjoy the ride until I physically witness it end.
So, quick question for you here. He played 14 games bye week and then missed the last 3 games of the season last year because of injury.
Yeah.
So out of those 14, how many do you think he had 8 or more targets in?
8 or more targets.
Yeah. Just to kind of highlight that it wasn't all red zone.
Sure. I mean,
Work
Puka's
either,
such a target hog. 14 games, cleared 8 targets. I'll say he did that 7 or 8. I'll say 8 times.
3, 6, 7, 9, 10 times.
10. Okay.
Never less than 5.
So he's a focal
point. Yeah. And then he had 4 games of those 14, 4 games. Or sorry, 5 games with no touchdowns, 4 games with multiple touchdowns.
That's correct.
And then the other 5 were 1 touchdown.
Got a touchdown, which is like,
he gets in the end zone.
Yeah, he just gets it. He gets in the end zone. He is the goal line running back basically for them.
Exactly.
He's like Davante Adams is the goal line running back for the Los Angeles Rams. Do with that what you will.
Yep. And Kyron and Corum are still. It's just a very good.
It's
team.
A good offense. You want pieces of that offense.
Yeah. So give me the guy that's, the wide receiver 2 that, give me Puka for sure if I can get him, but Absolutely. Give me Adams. If I don't have Puka, give me Adams and, the ADP value of that. And he'll finish wide receiver, if he stays healthy the whole year. He got hurt last year, missed those games. He was still wide receiver 8 on the season.
14 touchdowns will do that.
Yep.
Yeah. No,
bump Adams him up above. Bump Flowers down.
Just Flowers out of the top 25 or out of the top 24.
I just don't think I'm getting Flowers. Do you want to hit any Peppers real quick? Just looking at this board. Flowers versus
now I don't want to hit any Flowers Peppers. I'm like, what was I thinking?
Flowers.
No, I'll be
like an obvious one.
We can do that. Flowers versus Igbuka. We can do that.
Well, hold on. I want to see. You have him well. Yeah, that makes more sense. I'm like,
that's our biggest discrepancy, Igbuka and Flowers. Yeah. I think we'll do that one. And we can leave it.
Okay.
There.
Let's do that.
All right. We are adding Flowers versus Igbuka, half PPR fantasy points for the 2026 season.
You don't seem excited about it, though. You seem like you're like
now I'm scared, but I'll do it because I'm
well, do you want to do it?
Ranking. No, we can.
No, don't honor the ranking. Like if you don't feel like feel like you need to move Flowers down, there's no point in doing it just off of this.
I do feel like I need to move Flowers down now.
Right. So then maybe we don't need to make one.
All right, we'll table it. We'll table it. I'll think about it.
No, this isn't like a shame you into doing it. This is a like, are you going to like stand on business?
Yeah, I won't stand on. I won't.
I don't want you to win and be like, yeah, I saw it coming. Like, no, like.
There are some guys I will stand on business for, and now I'm not sure if Flowers is one of them.
Our wide receiver thoughts are pretty
close,
similar here.
Pretty close.
Yeah. All right.
Pretty close.
Well, I got nothing else.
I don't either. I think that wraps up the conversation for this evening. Appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this information is something you can take and apply to your redraft strategy. Hopefully your draft's not happening for another couple of weeks so we can continue to monitor and see how things develop over these next couple of final weeks of the preseason. Everybody, appreciate everybody coming in. I saw Batty, one of our members. Thank you. And everybody who contributed questions, comments. Appreciate all of you for coming in and spending some time with us this evening. Everybody have a great weekend. Be on the lookout for more content, and we will be back on Tuesday, and we'll probably have some thoughts following the first round of preseason games, among other things to discuss.
Yeah, we'll break down some of those games. Well, not the games as much themselves, but it's like what we saw some of the players.
Any type of rapid reaction, and if it's fantasy relevant.
Yeah.
But that'll do it for us this evening.
Guys.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Later. Bye-bye.